In the first part of 2 Samuel chapter 8, we read about God giving David victory over many kings and peoples. Some kings gathered their forces to fight him. One offers him a thank you gift for defeating his enemy. David takes all the gold, silver, and bronze and dedicates them to the Lord. We'll read later about how these items were brought into the treasury of the temple. David didn't keep the treasure for himself. He's fighting with his soldiers and doesn't need to reward himself for the victories. He knows the battle is the Lord's, the victories are the Lord's, and the rewards are the Lord's. David will take his blessing from the Lord, not from his neighbor. David doesn't set himself apart any more than God has done for him. He doesn't elevate himself, he lets God honor him. In keeping this right perspective of his lowliness, he is able to lead with equity and justice. He was fair. He didn't elevate one man over another. He sought to follow God's laws and to see that they were followed. God is after justice. In Isaiah 5, it talks about God as a gardener. He tends his vineyard and protects and nourishes it, but it doesn't produce good fruit. It says that the vineyard is Israel, and that when God looked for justice, he instead saw oppression, and that he heard an outcry when he looked for righteousness. God's justice is his perfect righteousness carried out, and the punishment of violations of God's righteous ways. God's righteousness wasn't being carried out. The people were oppressed under unrighteous laws or unrighteous punishments. God is just, and his justice must be satisfied. Jesus' death satisfied justice, and that sin must be punished. That's what we call justification, because the fee owed, death, was paid. We were declared acquitted and righteous in the eyes of the law.